Alright, hey everybody, welcome back to the channel. This is Rob here at Smirking Interviews, and we're back with more Expanse Season 4. We're on Episode 8, only 2 episodes left after this. This is called The One-Eyed Man. Full spoilers, if you haven't already noticed on the little thing at the beginning of the video. So, anyway, this is much more like it. This actually felt like old Expanse. We got all the major players back in here. And a lot happens. We get the return of Fred Johnson, which was a nice sight. Just a lot of plot points moving along pretty quickly, finally. So, and I don't mean that finally, like finally, but like finally. And so we're going to break everybody's stories down by order of really importance right now. So we're going to talk about Bobbie's part of the story first. Hers was the weakest. That's why I'm starting with it. But I think there is an important detail in here. Because basically what we have here for Bobbie is she's seeing, the disillusionment. She's feeling disillusioned by everything that she's done. Seeing the idea of Mars and the dream of Mars. We're just seeing it through her eyes. But I think we're seeing the death of Mars and the idea of what Mars could be dying as a whole. And we're just seeing it through one person figuring it out. And that's that, like this guy Isai, who's now, he's only doing this so he can get out of Mars. Because who cares about Mars now that the rings are open? Or when they get open, they're already going to have all these planets that are livable. When Mars is going to have another century before it's, completely finished. And I get where Bobbie's coming from, because what was the point of all this then? If we're just going to give up on what we did here just to do something easy or easier or possibly easier. What did they fight for if they're just going to give up on it now? And that's what it feels like. It feels like that's what's happening on Mars. She's seeing her friend, he's going off for maybe 10 months on a job. She's seeing her nephew possibly getting this terraforming job and being stuck here. And so she kind of takes it out, on this guy who's going to leave. And she's got a point. The job, though, this job that Isai's doing is the one that's, I think, got something interesting in here. And I think that it's possible, and like I said, for all of you that have already watched it, which is probably all of you, the first thing I thought about, no questions asked job, coming to Mars, a lot of money, I was thinking Marco. I was thinking that Marco's coming there. He's the package. But maybe I'm wrong. It just feels like that's what it would be. Because isn't he headed towards Mars? So anyway, that's Bobbie's part of the story. And as far as I just want to see them all kind of get back together in some form. But hey, even in Game of Thrones, right? People barely, wound up where you wanted her to. Okay, so the next part that we're going to talk about is avasaralas. And how, speaking of Game of Thrones, damn Gina, avasarala is playing the game. Holy crap. Now, at the beginning of this episode, I was like, did she do this for poll numbers? I thought she was doing this because she wanted to catch Marco. I thought she was doing this because she wanted to catch a terrorist. And I stand by that. I think that she really was, she made this decision. She went in with the Marines instead of just blowing it up to try to get this guy alive. Now, I think in the end, maybe getting that guy alive would help her. But now that the episode's over, I'm not quite so sure that she didn't do all this for, in the end, not just for herself, but that would be a benefit of if everything works, she would get reelected. But she is trying to catch this terrorist. She is trying to prove that the rings and the planets in New Terra aren't safe, and it shouldn't just be a bunch of the Old West, people just flying out there willy-nilly when they're going to lose more lives, like Nancy Gao is trying to say that people should be able to do. She just does it in the most Cersei Lannister type of way without anybody, that's what I felt. That's what I thought. I was like, oh man, avasarala's pulling some Cersei Lannister kind of shit, where she's just getting what she wants done. So she goes and gives that great speech about everything and takes all the blame, puts all of it on her, and moves Nancy Gow, and she gets the whole room to believe her. And then when the pictures from New Terra get leaked, all of a sudden, after Nancy Gow goes and says, hey, guess what? She did the right thing. She blamed herself, and what a great leader she is. And then, boom, there are the pictures. There are the pictures from New Terra. And her husband confronts her, and she says, yeah, I leaked them. And now we're back on the topic that we should be talking about, which is New Terra, not me. Not this, situation we got going on with the election. And her husband's pissed. And I still just go, damn, avasarala, that is some cold-blooded shit. And I'm not sure how I feel about it. But I know that I still love her as a character. I like that adds more depth to her character, what she pulled here. Okay, so next up is Fred Johnson, drummer, and Ashford's part of the story. First off, it's so great to see Chad Coleman back. His hair is different, but he condemns the UN for what happened with the Belter ship. All those people died, all those Marines died because Marco triggered it to blow. I love the move when he comes up and Ashford just kind of gets pushed out of the away by drummer and she just punches him in the face. I was like, oh my God, Kara G, if I wasn't already 100% attracted to you, that move just did it. She is such a strong character. I love it. Man. So she just straight up quits. Because she's right. You turned Marco into a hero. Now, and since you went on TV and blamed the UN for this fuck up, and they're all, there's little infighting going on here that's just not good for anybody, and she just straight up quits. And then Ashford, played by David Strathairn, who's great in this, although I think we're about to see the last of him. He takes it on he's going after Marco himself to just kill this motherfucker because it's time. And he invites Drummer to go with, but she doesn't go. And that automatically, to me, says, goodbye, Ashford. This is going to be the last time we see you. I mean, we're going to see his mission, but I doubt he's coming back. She even did that look back when she gave him the booze and he gave it back to her, and she did that turn where, you just know like somebody's saying goodbye for the last time with just a look. So at the very least, I hope Ashford gets Marco. I wish they were going together. I loved his line, I just want to see his pretty face floating outside the airlock. I thought that was a pretty awesome line. And so, yeah, I don't know what's next for Drummer, really, but it should be really cool. And next up, we have our big... I wasn't sure where I was going to place this part of the story until the very end of the episode. I was like, oh yeah, I gotta end with Holden and the Rocinante's story. So, all right. Well, Holden's the one-eyed man, according to Mercury. I love that. In the land of blind people, the one-eyed man is king, and because Holden's the only one immune to what has caused everyone to go blind. There's bodies piling up. Everybody's gone blind. The slugs are dropping on people that are wandering off and dying because their poison in their toxicity kills everybody. And everybody's blind and terrified and losing their minds. They're running out of meds. Mercury's wanting out. Amos has lost it. Nothing is going right, but at least we have the hope that in Alex and Naomi's plan to get the tether actually works. That was a very tense situation. They were getting they were all acting really happy. They were all acting really happy when they got the tether to work, and I was just sitting there. I wasn't gonna smile. Wasn't gonna go, oh, cool, go, good. Because every time I was thinking, they're cheering too much, it's going to fail. But as far as I can tell, it's worked. And so they're at least able to get the ships back up so that they don't crash into Ios. Except they still got to deal with the fact that there's going to be a moon that is melting, and the water finally. Man, I got a hair in my mouth. Sorry, everybody. So they find out that it's not Holden's blood; it's his eye fluid. That what's in his blood, she's like, oh, I should tell you, you got cancer cells, you better have that checked out. This was such a great way to find a cure, by the way, and bring it all back to Eros. Just a really great way of bringing all that back. Is that when he got radiated at Eros, he's been on these cancer meds, and they realized that it's the cancer meds, it's the X factor that saved him from blindness, and so all they have to do now is synthesize that medication in their cool like pharmaceutical 3D printer and fix everybody. And I love the exchange between him and Amos. Hey, now I can say I took you in a fight. You could say whatever you want. And so they're able to get out now, and they see the water receding. But man, that whole conversation when he's talking to Naomi as he gets outside, and they have him in like this area of the screen, I should say. Like, get my hand up here. All right. So here's Holden, right? Let's just say that he's right here, and there back here is the ship entrance, right? All back here is where he came out of. And I kept thinking he's gonna get shot from behind. In that whole sequence, I was scared for Holden, because once Mercury can get out, he said he's gonna take care of Holden. And so now I'm literally, I get kind of gulped just then. And so I'm worried now about Holden quite a bit. And I have reason to worry, because as soon as Mercury gets on the line, he's like talking about, you have the proximity explosive on the light shuttle, so that means he's still planning on blowing up the belters, right, when they try to get off, because he still wants the lithium. And I still think he's going after Holden. But at the very end, who should show up finally but Miller? Unfortunately, he's incapable of communicating, which means there's something even more wrong about to go down, because the only thing he can do is scream. And that's not good. And it even sounded more like a computer glitch scream, where it was just kind of like broken up, like, ah! and louder, way louder than what I just did. So we solve one problem, we've got another, and that's what I love about the Expanse. It's like we get some resolution, but we get some more things piled on top of it. And hopefully in these, I have a feeling the next 2 episodes are going to be pretty amazing. So anyway, if you like this review, please hit the like button, comment, share, subscribe. If you're not a subscriber, please consider becoming a subscriber. Don't forget to leave a comment. We are still doing the contest to give away a Blu-ray or a DVD of any season of The Expanse of your choice, either 1, 2, or 3. You got to be a subscriber, and you got to leave a comment. So anyway, otherwise, fantastic episode. Really, really happy with this one. You can find me on Twitter at reviews_gun. We will be back with the penultimate episode of Season 9 tomorrow. We're also going to be doing maybe a review for The Gentleman by Guy Ritchie. And also look out for a review of The Lighthouse from the director of The Witch. So, lots going on. And I did it again. Well, I forget how to end the video. Have a great night. We'll see you on the next video. Bye.